Hello, this is Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech, looking at the top 10 Orzhov cards in EDH. As you know, I'm working my way through all of the guilds. This project's been a little bit more difficult than I thought it would be, as it's sometimes difficult to find these particular cards. So I've been asking the community over at Magic the Seattling, and I've got some really good feedback. Just a reminder on my criteria here. Cards have to be under $20, and they are not combo bait, are commonly known to be combo powerhouses. Also, they should be fun for everybody to play. Maybe there's an exception for one or two cards in here because we are dealing with black, though. Little aside here on Extort. I know that technically Extort is a black or a white ability, and that the mana symbol that is in the reminder text doesn't technically make it an Orzhov ability, but I really feel like you should really only play Extort in Orzhov decks or decks where it really hits the theme, even though the technical color identity of the card is not determined by that little symbol there. Let's look at the honorable mentions here. There's a lot of really cool, interesting cards available in the black-white color combination. I'm just going to point out three of them here that are my favorites. Cauldron Haze is extremely nice. It works really well with board wipes because it basically gives each creature that you want persist. So you can use this politically to help save some other people's creatures, or at least save all of your creatures from a board wipe. Tainted Sigil has a nice feel to it because it takes the amount of damage individuals take, the loss of life, and allows you to gain that much for the turn. And Zealous Persecution is just a constructed powerhouse in other formats. In EDH, though, it's a really nice way to do some cool things with combat math, screw up your opponent a little bit, and crush token decks. Divinity of the Pride is on a lot of other people's top lists because it's an 8/8 for 5 with flying and lifelink in EDH. I've found it's very, very difficult to actually cast, so it didn't make it to the top 10, but I understand why people like it. Bonus tech here, I've got two cards that people should really check out. Orzhov Pontiff has that nice Zealous Persecution ability, but it happens twice. Once when the creature comes into play, and then possibly again when it haunts something later. Now, it is a choice between those two particular effects, but usually you only need one or the other, and the ability to use it twice gives you a lot of political sway. Batwing Brume is just amazing. I don't know the number of times I've seen somebody pull a game out with a Darkness or a Holy Day, but this particular card goes a lot further. It prevents all combat damage if you spent white, and if you spent black, each player loses 1 life for each attacking creature he or she controls. I've seen individuals swing out entirely with a bunch of tokens and end up losing the game because of that swing. I love this card. Number 10 spot here. Okay, I've got at least one really mean card on this list. We are dealing with black. It's Identity Crisis. Remove all cards in target player's hand and graveyard from the game. If you've got one person in the game who you know is just playing that Reanimator deck where there's not much you can do about it, this is a really nice answer. It is a mean card, though, and it will get you thrown out of some playgroups. Number 9 spot here, I've got Obzedat Ghost Council. It's wonderful black-white feeling artwork on it. It works really well with the board wipes that you see a lot in black and in white. And the gain life, lose life ability is just great. In the number 8 spot here, I've got the Guild Mage, who gives both lifelink and also whenever you gain life this turn, each opponent loses that much life. Wonderful Orzhov flavor to it. Very, very powerful little card for just 2 mana. Number 7 spot here, I've got Debtor's Knoll. Personally, I think the casting cost is a little bit too high on this card, but it gives you, at the beginning of your upkeep, target creature card in a graveyard comes into play under your control. It's great with board wipes. It's a really nice way to come back after you've stabilized with a board wipe. Number 6 spot here, I really have what Swords to Plowshares probably should have had for a casting cost. In Commander, this card's really nice because of the remove target creature from the game. It's not super powerful, but it is a balanced good card. In the number 5 spot here, I've got a land, Vault of the Archangel. Lifelink and Death Touch just gives you a lot of political sway in EDH. You're able to keep your life high and also threaten to kill other people's creatures. In the number 4 spot here, I have a Planeswalker, Sorin, Lord of Innistrad. There's two things I really like about Sorin, Lord of Innistrad in EDH. Number 1 is how quickly you can get emblems. You can drop him and then put an emblem out right away, so that if you need to board wipe later, all of your future creatures are going to have that +1/+0. He also has the ability to protect himself by putting out a vampire with lifelink. If you've got swords or Jitte in your deck, having board wipes along with a planeswalker that produces creatures and a sword is a wonderful way to keep yourself in the game long term after you've taken control. Number 3 spot here, I've got Ashen Rider. When I started to put together this list, I had Angel of Despair here, but Ashen Rider is just 10 times better. Ashen Rider exiles target permanent when it comes into the battlefield, and when it leaves, poor Angel, you just don't compare to the Rider. Merciless Eviction here is one of the coolest pieces of artwork that Wizards has done in a long time. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork in foil also. It takes 2 amazing cards, Wrath of God and Damnation, puts them together, and then ups the power level also by exiling either artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers. A lot of versatility in this card, and the exile really matters in EDH. Number 1 spot here, I've got Blind Obedience. I know technically it's a white card, but the extortability is just incredible in EDH. It hits everybody at the table every time you hit a spell, and being able to gain life yourself and stop a lot of combos in one card means this is an auto include in any black-white deck that I play. Keeps you alive and stops the abusive plays that are out. Thanks. This has been Brian Rowe with Mythic MTG Tech, looking at the top 10 Orzhov cards.
This is not over. Vengeance. Vengeance. Not over. Vengeance. I will get what I want.